Mint Black Label. That's the
Hey,
thing.
welcome back, my man. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good, man. Good to be back. Good to be back.
I'm actually glad you're here. I see you got something going on, and been looking at your Facebook, and I see some new shit happening with you. What's going on, man? Talk to us about it, Mr. Terry.
I tell people all the time, man. I'm always working, man. If you ain't always working, then what are you doing?
Yeah, got to
You know,
keep it moving.
always something. Natural born hustler. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Driving it.
movement is life, is what they say.
That's what it is, man. That's what
If
it
you
is.
ain't moving, you're dead.
That, yeah, it's a zombie apocalypse rules right there.
That's right.
No. I mean, last time I was here, I was somewhat just managing comedy. I wasn't really diving into the world, myself personally. But over the last 6 months, I kind of realized my own potential as a comedian. So
Okay.
I've been working on that. Building bits. I got an hour worth of
You got an hour going on now?
hour. Yep. I got an hour,
God
solid
damn.
hour. I've been tuning on. So, been traveling about. Just started. Literally, episode 1 coming out this week. You know what I mean? No Chaser podcast. Two really good friends of mine. You know what I mean?
Talk to me about the podcast. I mean, the podcast, even I got into this thing because I think it's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Sit around, shooting the shit with people.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Having a good time, having a drink.
Yep.
What gets you into podcasting?
So for me, it's a simple thing of like a lot of times you meet people who just have it. You know what I
Yep.
mean? They have that voice, and like you said, it's fun.
It is fun.
So to be able to sit down with you or you know what I mean, I would say like to say myself and
Yeah.
other people, and be able to just have a normal conversation
About anything.
about anything. Yeah.
And people out there, they either listen to it or skip it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's it.
No matter.
Like,
You put it out there, there's gonna be always somebody that is gonna listen
it's
to it.
always gonna be somebody that's gonna be listening.
That's
It's always
right.
gonna be somebody that's gonna hate on it. It's always
Oh,
gonna be
fuck
somebody
yeah.
that's gonna be annoyed by it.
Fuck yeah.
But at the same time, what's most important about it is like, man, we're having fun. That's what I say. We're having fun.
That's right.
Man, we could be doing. We could have gotten together and decided to do bank heist. You know what I mean? Look at it
Exactly.
that way. God forbid, we could have decided that it was money and fentanyl. Let's go spread some fentanyl together. But we
This
took
shit
that-
gonna go either way.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I try to tell people. I be like, yo, listen, it only takes one person
Yeah.
to influence a nation.
That's
You
right.
know? One person. Every major movement, we all can point at one specific individual
Yeah.
that influenced a bunch of people. And for us to influence each other and do a podcast,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean? Not go pinky in the brain and take over the world.
Yeah.
Be grateful.
What you just said right now is only takes one person to influence a whole nation. It brought me back to have you seen How to Be a Tyrant
Mhm.
in Netflix?
Yep.
That's the first thing that goes through my mind.
Yep.
I have watched that at least 4 times. I couldn't get enough of it because it's amazing how these people ended up being who they were.
Yep.
And how they control millions of people, make them do whatever the hell they want.
The most powerful thing humans have is our voice.
You know?
Powerful. I mean, combined with knowledge, of course. but
Of course, yeah. You gotta be able to speak your bullshit in a way that people would freaking take it, will buy it.
They say
consume it.
words are sharper than a knife, man.
Yeah. About your podcast, I don't know if it happens to you, but it happens to me a lot. Don't you hate when people go like, "What is your podcast about?" Well,
Yeah.
what do you mean? What it is about? It's like I understand there's a few podcasts out there that it's all about sports,
Mhm.
it's all about politics,
Mhm.
it's all about health, whatever. But I'm sure nobody asked Joe Rogan, "What is your podcast about?"
No, they
Because
just
Joe
watch it.
Rogan has everybody in there, from comedians to doctors, scientists, and everything. I mean, don't you hate that
I
shit?
hate it. Trust me, I've already gotten a couple messages right now, like, "Oh, what are you guys going to be doing next?" Or like, "What are you guys?" You know what I mean? Like, what is going to be you guys' main focus? And I'm like, we've only launched a pilot, but to combat that, I think what we're going to plan on doing is the same concept as like the nightlife promotions go,
Okay.
like with the flyers and thing and whatnot. So that's essentially what I bring to the table out of the group of us. So what I plan on doing is putting together a nice little mini script of like just bullet points and highlights of what our podcast
Yeah.
is going to be about that day. That way we can create some buzz. You know, I'm not a fan of it personally. I think it's a double-edged sword. I think if we let people know what the podcast is gonna be about that day,
Yeah.
I'm giving you the option not to tune in.
Exactly. Because right away they're gonna be like, oh,
Wait a
it's about
minute.
politics. I'm not into it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you tell people, well, my podcast is about a little bit of everything, sometimes they give you this weird face like, what?
Yeah.
But again, a podcast really doesn't have to be subjected to one specific topic. There's so much to talk about. I mean, let's put it this way. How can you just talk about sports and not talk about any political stuff that happens with sports?
Correct.
So are you going to ignore that because, oh, no, your podcast is all about sports?
Let's talk about
It doesn't
Kyrie
make any
Irving
sense.
and how he has a deadline to come back to play, but not talk about why he has a deadline.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense at all how people want to like put your podcast in the category. I don't know.
I mean, I guess the best rebuttal for that is, what do you want me to talk about?
Exactly.
like what is my podcast? Whatever you want me to talk about.
Yeah.
Let me know what you want to hear so I can make it happen.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
I always invite people to come in to sit down. And, one of my guys was like, what, are you going to let everybody in here? I was like, yeah, because I'm sure everybody has something to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want to just focus on the group. If there's somebody out there who has something to say and is interesting, not just sit there and talking shit.
Yeah, no, just talking
But
nonsense.
exactly, not talking nonsense.
You
But
got Kanye for that.
exactly, right.
You got Kanye for that.
But
right?
if Kanye,
I know, right?
you explain to me. I seen a lot about that the Adidas drop him and they try to hide something. And what's the whole story of Kanye? Because I try to stay away from it, but I just can't.
Not
I
as
can't.
a podcast. As a podcaster, you have to know, man, because it's gonna come up. All right.
Give me some insights of what the fuck is going on.
It's just a lot of like. I don't understand it personally. I am biased. I tell people right off the rip, I'm biased. I grew up in Chicago, like born and raised. Like didn't leave Chicago until I was 18 when I joined the Marine Corps. Like I was there. You know what I mean? And like Kanye was a massive influence, on the black community there. So we can almost look at him as like a role model. Some people look at Kanye and go role model, hero,
Right.
and it's like watching the fall of one of your heroes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like for example, you grow up loving Wolverine, and then you watch Old Man Logan. He's just like this little piece of shit old guy. And you're like, what the fuck happened to my hero? So like, that's what it feels like with Kanye. And then, but like, it sucks to answer this question because I've been listening to Kanye since Kanye been beatboxing in his closet.
Right, but
And Kanye been saying shit like this since then.
exactly. So it shouldn't be a surprise.
It's not a surprise
it
to me.
It shouldn't be a surprise at all.
You know what I mean?
On top of the fact that supposedly he has some mental illness. What he has some shit going on. He has to medicate himself all the time.
So I don't think so that part right there blows my mind. Like he had a mental illness. Like that's 90% of the hood. Let's be real.
Okay.
90% of the black community in Chicago is traumatized somehow or has some type of condition that's never been treated because we don't have the funds to treat it.
Okay.
And so if you think about that era where Kanye was growing up, maybe he did have mental issues. Maybe the death of his mom completely traumatized and
It
changed
could be,
him.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so
I mean, most likely it did. Not it could be. Most likely it did. I mean,
I don't want to say him having an illness, a mental illness, or anything is why he's doing what he's doing. Like I don't think he's saying the things that he's saying because he has a mental illness.
okay.
I don't think he's acting the way he's acting right now because he off the rails. No, this is the Kanye you're seeing right now is the same Kanye we seen back in the day.
So people shouldn't be surprised. They should just let it go there.
People are surprised right now because they were never fans of Kanye.
Oh, I see.
So like what they're seeing right now, a lot of the people that are outraged right now probably just seen Kanye for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Or they know Kanye because, like, Kanye didn't become a big thing again. Because you got to remember, he went dark for a while. And it wasn't until he married Kim Kardashian that we started paying attention to him again.
Yeah.
And that was because he was going bankrupt and losing money. And how you broken with a Kardashian. That's what the
Exactly. It
headline
doesn't
was.
make any
It
sense.
didn't make sense. Like, how you
Yeah,
broken
and
with a
then
Kardashian.
them
Like,
bitches
what?
got a lot of money. They
She
have
gave him
a
some
lot
bread
of
and he
money.
became a billionaire right after
Yeah.
that. So, like, Then he did the whole thing with Trump. Well, like he was befriending Trump, but then a lot of people gave him, slack for that. Was that his mental? So that's a perfect example.
Well, no. Let me go ahead. Go ahead. Finish that thought.
Was Kanye having mental illness when he was running around high fiving and dealing with Trump, and then taking the money he was getting from Trump and giving it to Kim when Kim was trying to release, QC, Larry Hoover? Like she was taking that money from that and was trying to release people from jail. Is that crazy Kanye? Was that crazy Kanye when he took the money from Trump and then created all these institutes and gave out all these scholarships to black kids in Chicago? Like, is that a mental illness too? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we can't pick and choose. Like, oh, he said something dumb. Oh, that's a mental illness. Oh, he did something right. Good for Kanye. No, it's the same person.
No, I got you now. Now the whole thing with Trump though. That part of it, I really don't understand. Why is it that what is it? Because he's black? Is why he's not supposed to be? He's not supposed to be, in love with this guy. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Donald Trump. I said that in the past, not based upon on a lot of the things that he has done and say, but at the same time, being a follower or a believer, let's say, of Donald Trump should be a problem, even though if you're black or whatever. I mean, black, Latino, it shouldn't matter.
Kanye West, in relationship with Donald Trump, is the equivalent to you going to your piece of shit job that you don't like, but you need to check. That's how I look at it. That's how I've always looked at it. Like, you go to work, you hate your job, and then you cash your check and you pay your bills. Kanye did the same thing with Donald Trump. We don't like this man, but listen, Trump has access to certain funding and power right now. And what we're trying to do, him and his wife at that time, what they were trying to do and accomplish, they needed Donald Trump for that. Do we not forget that he took one of the Ball brothers out of jail from a whole other country and brought him back?
Yeah.
Like, that's power right there.
Yeah, that's right.
Like if Donald Trump was the president right now, Brittany Griner wouldn't be in Russia right now.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? So, like, we can not like, for example, I can not like my boss, but I'm still going to take the check when he signed it over to me after I work my 40 hours.
Business is business.
Business is business. And that's how I looked at that whole, like, and then, like, and that's funny because, like, I tell people that I was like, listen, like, when I find out people like Trump, but they hate Kanye, and I don't understand because they're absolutely the same. You know what I mean? They're insensitive to public ear.
Yep.
Both of them. So, like, how come you can keep Trump, but I can't keep Kanye? That's what I was.
Yeah, it makes no sense at all. Makes no sense at all.
For the record, they're both weird. I just want to throw that out there.
Hell yeah.
Like,
no, they
like, I acknowledge that they're both weird.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I'm just saying Kanye has always been weird, and you just started listening. That's my thing.
You know the thing about this country. They said not this country. Now it's everywhere. If you have a voice, if you have a mic, if you put yourself out there, and you say something that the certain group doesn't like, then they kill you for it. Because I mean, the Adidas. Let's start with the Adidas, right?
Oh, yeah.
They dropped Kanye.
Oh yeah.
Who invented the Adidas? It was some freaking guys from some guys from Hitler. What do you call the
Nazis?
The Nazis.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. The Nazis created the Adidas. So yeah, we outraged with Kanye because of some of the comments that he did, but we're now outraged with the fact that the Adidas are made by freaking Nazis.
So, like, I tell people all the time, like, you got to dig deeper than what they show you on the news. Like, for example, like, there's always a backstory. Like, Kanye was already going to drop Adidas. So, like, Adidas dropping Kanye, who cares? Because Kanye had already made it clear to Adidas that, like, I don't need you.
Right.
Like, you're popping right now because of Yeezy, not because Yeezy isn't popping because of Adidas. So they were already going through a legal dispute before he said that. They just used that as a scapegoat.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all it was. Hey, you know what I mean? We broke up with Kanye, even though Kanye was going to break up with us anyway.
Right. But
So,
the
like,
thing
it was
is, like,
weird.
they were the first one to mention it, so that's the reason why they look at it as like, oh, my God. Adidas just dropped Kanye.
Yeah, no, it was just like Kanye.
Yeah, exactly.
Kanye was already in the process of breaking up with Adidas. Like think
Right.
about it right now. You look at a pair of Yeezys. Where's the Adidas logo? Where's the Adidas logo on a pair of Yeezys?
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Yeah, nowhere
what
to
I
be
mean?
seen. Yeah.
Nowhere. So like it's one of those things where it's just like, all right, we blow it up. Like, for example, Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby
Oh,
tried to buy.
Bill.
I could be wrong. Like, don't fact check me on this one. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was NBC
Okay.
that Bill Cosby. I think it was NBC that Bill Cosby attempted to buy.
Okay.
right before all those allegations dropped. So he was attempting to buy a TV network,
Really?
and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom.
Now you don't think those allegations were true?
Oh no, the dude's a creep. I'm not saying.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
The dude's a creep.
'Cause I'm trying
I think every
I mean,
celebrity or everybody in power or anybody with money right now has done something dumb because you want to know why? Because you can. And I believe everybody has a folder where they're just like, hey, so listen, I need you to do this or I'm going to release this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure it happened to R. Kelly. Somebody told R. Kelly, yo, I need $100K right now or I'm releasing that video I recorded you. And he was like, you know what? Screw yourself. Perfect example. Charlie Sheen is a perfect example. Charlie Sheen, when he came out, wasn't because he wanted to tell on himself. It was because he was tired of paying off people.
Oh, when he came out with the AIDS. Yeah.
And then he didn't tell girls he was sleeping with them and he had AIDS and then he didn't stop there. He kept going, oh, I had an affair with this guy and then I did a bunch of blow and I sucked this dude's dick. Like it goes that deep with Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
But my thing was Charlie Sheen didn't come out because, you know what I mean? Like, because he wanted to out of kindness of his heart. He got tired of paying people off. So he was like, you know what? I'll out myself.
Yeah, but I can tell you that.
He beat him to the punch, essentially.
You mentioned R. Kelly, though. I mean, I would have dumped every single dollar that I have in my bank account so I don't end up in prison. How many years they give him?
30.
30
years.
Here's
my thing.
Think about that.
But here's
30 years. 30 years for having, I mean, the allegations are that he was banging all these young girls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool.
There are videos. Exactly, they're proven.
He did it.
But exactly. Well, at this point, you can say it. Yes, they're being proven. They're not allegations. But again, not all of them obviously were like younger girls. There was a lot of adults in there that they know what the hell they were into it, and they also accuse him of rape.
Right.
If you were an adult, it's the same thing with the with this comedian that got accused of some shit that he didn't actually do. So he did it, but he did it with adults.
So what I try to tell my friends all the time.
Hey, by the way, I'm not saying R. Kelly is innocent. No, R. Kelly did that shit.
We got to do a PSA after everybody, just so you know, R. Kelly's guilty.
He's peeing on that girl. I saw the video. He's peeing on that girl.
So I've never seen the video. That's funny. I never
watched it.
I've never watched the video. Yeah. You know what I mean? But here's my thing, though, right? But if you can go back, and it's the same thing with
wedding
Kanye.
Flowers.
It's the exact same thing with Kanye, though. It didn't outrage anybody who was a fan of R. Kelly already because of the Aaliyah thing. Mm-hmm. And he beat the charges with the Aaliyah thing. You know, he married Aaliyah when she was 15. We knew. We weren't oblivious to it. It was right in the eye wide open. It was right in our face.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And God forbid, Aaliyah would still be alive today when that happened.
Yeah.
Like the amount of here you go. Like Aaliyah would have been able to give the public.
Yeah.
You know, so like we knew R. Kelly was a creep. It wasn't until the rules of engagement changed. It was when women said enough is enough is what it came down to and changed. Like, and not even necessarily changed, corrected.
Right.
How we viewed, sexual assault and rape. They corrected that.
But nowadays, though.
But that's what I mean. That's why I said they didn't change the rules. They corrected them. So, like, what we viewed as rape now was kosher when Bill Cosby was 2021.
Yeah.
Was a norm. You know what I mean? And for R. Kelly, for him to beat all those other charges with the other young kids, because it wasn't just Aaliyah. He beat another case, too, after that. He paid off 3-4 more girls after that and settled in civil suits after that.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'm not going to lie. If I'm going to do some weird stuff and I can just buy out of it, what I'm stopping for?
Yeah, you're right on that.
Let's go human nature here. You know what I mean? Not morality. Not get me wrong. Don't kill me here. I'm not saying from a moral standpoint. I'm saying from a human standpoint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I take a cookie and then my mama don't notice I took a cookie, every time she buy a pack, I'm gonna take one because I know she ain't paying attention.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that human nature, that repetition for R. Kelly, because he was doing it for over 20 years.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing though. It's famous people with all their money. And all the power they have, they can get away with so much. I mean, it
social media
brought me back. It brought me back. Yeah, social media happened. It brought me back to a joke from Chris Rock. I think it was Chris Rock. He was talking about what's the name of that golfer? Jesus Christ, I'm forgetting everybody's name right now. Tiger Woods.
I know you're talking about Tiger. That's
Am I going to stop drinking? Should I stop drinking?
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods, right? Tiger Woods with the whole situation, with the whole scandals, with he was banging all these women, and people were talking about him like, oh my God. He was doing what any of us would have done in his position. We're talking about a guy that is mad famous, mad rich. The only thing he has to do is unzip. And they will drop on their knees and suck on it. I mean, that's the truth.
That's it.
Whether they want to admit it or not. I mean, when you got that kind of power, fuck it.
Guy, like, it's unreal, yo, that the fact that we even attempted to condemn Tiger Woods for being what I'm a high five my bro for.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like wait a minute. So Tiger Woods cheated on his wife with 27 other women.
Right.
So did the mailman.
Yeah.
So did the milkman.
That's right.
So did the TV reporter. So
Yeah.
did your homie from down the street.
But he has to be the example.
You know what I mean? What? All right, whatever. I think that was unnecessary. And then they all of a sudden they just ganged up on him. Oh, he has a drug problem now. Now he has to go to rehab.
Right. He'll never be the same as he was.
Like, so he likes to do drugs and bang chicks and play golf. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with it? His wife's divorced him and makes millions. I think everybody wins in this. Who loses?
Yo.
Who loses?
How much she got? Like what? Like $400 million?
$400 million. Who lost? I mean, from an emotional standpoint, you know what I mean? Whatever, but like $400 million, give me like a year and
I'll get over it.
I'll get over it.
I'll get over it. Well, less than a year, I get over
girls
it.
out here finding out they get cheated on and then have to go back to buying their own Mai Tais at the Chinese restaurant. Like, like, come on now. I'm telling you right now, if they made a law that you had to pay $1,500 in restitution if you got caught cheating, women would literally, you know how many dudes would get cheating the day of. Court to be backed up the day of.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So
one thing about this whole, we all want to be out there. We all want to be recognized. We all want to be seen by people and take pictures. That's what we do. Because at some point, every single one of us wants to be kind of famous. Let's put it that way, right?
It feels great.
It feels great when you're walking down the street and they say, hey, and they say hi to you. They want to take a picture with you. It feels awesome. Now, the downside of that shit is once you out in the public,
no privacy,
and people know you, any of these situations that happen with these guys can happen to you, can happen to me, because it all depends on the level of famous. If you're really, really famous, you know freaking top dollar chicks are gonna jump all over you because they want a piece of you. Not because you're cute.
Nope.
Not because you're sexy.
Nope.
It's because you're famous.
You're a mark.
Exactly.
They have
and they want to take at least a piece of what you have.
They have classes. Like, women have classes that they go to on how to hunt NBA players.
No
NFL
way.
Players.
No way.
Yes, they have like classes and courses.
What is that?
Yeah, like I tell people all the time. Like, I don't think we use like these little boxes right here. I don't think we use them to our full potential. I bullshit you not. If you picked up your phone and just was like, you know what, I'm just gonna look this up, you will find some of the weirdest things that people do for money. You know what I mean?
Holy shit.
Yeah, like, yes, like God forbid, like there. And then you got to think of, like, for example, think of the pageant kids. Pageant kids are groomed from birth to be pageant kids.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's go to Alabama. Football players
are
groomed from birth. You don't think it's women's being groomed from birth to hunt football players, NBA players, politicians?
Damn.
Think about it.
Damn.
Think of rappers.
I don't want to be that famous though.
Like that's what it is. And then, like, you get, like, these women aren't just like, oh, he got a bunch of money, let me go for. No, they're like, hey, I've been watching you since you started. I know what you ate on your third period in 5th grade class.
Yeah.
Like, that's how deep that is. Like, I tell people all the time, that is a hustle. You know, and it's unreal. And it's crazy that people.
That's
don't
one
think
of the things that I'm afraid of. That to get to a level that I have to be afraid of women. Because that's what it comes down to.
I'm already,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, look what happened. I brought that up a while back about Louis C.K. I'm still traumatized with that. The comedian Louis C.K.
Mm-hmm.
You heard of this story about the women that walk into his room. He asked them, "Can I masturbate?" And they say, "Yeah, sure, you can jerk off." So he just got undressed and started chucking that chicken in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And now, you know, his career is ruined.
Wrong.
What are you doing? Wrong. You know what you're going for. You go into his room. He's a single guy. I mean, you know what you're looking for. And now all of a sudden you're the victim?
Here's my thing.
What the hell?
Here's my thing. As, like, you have to understand that when the rules got corrected, That's what I tell people. That's
You
the
can say
best way.
corrected. I don't agree with corrected,
So
though.
no.
Are you
That-
being sarcastic?
No,
Is that what it is?
I'm not being sarcastic, man. I can never get canceled by saying that. You know what I mean? I can say the
Corrected.
rules have changed, or because I want to be sensitive to women, I could just say the rules are corrected. Because guess what? The women have decided that this is the right rules, and these are the rules right now. And the rules we had before were wrong because the rules weren't created by them; they were created by us. Means
Right.
the rules were adjusted, which I just say corrected. That's it. You can never get mad at me for saying that.
It's a fancy way to say it.
It's a fancy. That's all
It's a
it is.
fancy way to say that we're getting screwed.
That's pretty much what it is. It's a
Okay.
sugar on top word. But
Yeah, that's
it's like,
what-
instead of calling a chick ugly, just be like, yo, she different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
That's how you do
You're
it.
right. I
Like,
have to agree with you on
Hey,
that.
what
You
think,
can't.
What you think of that chick right there? You like, well, you know, she different. You
Yeah,
know?
she's different. You know.
different. You know.
Oh my God, you're right on that.
You know what I mean? It's my way, and I don't even have to say, "Oh, she not my type," because then the next question after that, well, why is she not your type? No, I can
yeah,
just be like,
yeah.
"Oh, she's different." you
She's
know, like,
different. And then the next one will be in what sense?
you know what I mean? You can't win, bro.
There's no way. There's no way to escape
There's
this
no
thing.
escape. You got to be ready. Like that's it. That's why I'm so happy I grew up in Chicago, bro. Well, we roasted each other every day, so comebacks are natural. So I'm always ready. But sometimes, bro, I just be like, "Shut up."
How you feel about people always using Chicago as an example of violence? It's like every time a politician wants to talk about violence from both sides, doesn't matter which one it is, they always bring, look at Chicago. There's like 30 people died yesterday in the morning before 8 o'clock in the morning. I always listen. Chicago is the first one before they even mention any other state.
And it's not even in the top 10 in crime anymore. It's not. It's not even like if you look at the top 10 list of cities in crime, it's not even Chicago anymore. Like we've actually gotten better, but better is still worse than a lot. You know, my
Right.
thing is I hate when politicians use it because it's like, so motherfucker, you see what's going on over there, you ain't did shit. Like Obama was one of my least favorite presidents, and that's
Whoa.
I got a valid reason for it. As a
Explain-
Chicago resident,
Explain that.
resident, for you to live in Hyde Park and have 8 years in presidency
Mm-hmm.
and not change Chicago blew my mind.
What were you expecting
Like,
him
how
to do?
dare you? Like, my thing is, okay, so be the president.
What was the thing? What was that
How
thing?
dare you live in the city?
But what was that thing? What was that thing that you thought he should do, and how you think he should have done it?
Here's my thing. If we could round out Mexico, hear me out. If we could round out illegal immigrants and Mexicans and put them in
Right.
concentration camps and all across the border right now and separate parents from their children. Like, we got money to do that. Well, we can literally obliterate families and separate them and then sit them in concentration camps. That means we have to feed them. That means we have to clothe them.
Right.
That means we have to provide medical care.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then you think about the prison system with over 2 million citizens, you know what I mean? And them just the legal ones, not the illegal ones, are incarcerated, which means we have to feed them, which means we have to clothe them, which means we have to provide medical care to them.
So what do you think?
So
it
we
should
got
be
all
done?
that money, and we got all this shit that's going on, right? And you live in one city. Well, here's my thing: one city. You couldn't change the dynamic of one city, the one you live in. Like, I'd see if you never left the White House, whatever. But you had the audacity to drive and live and sleep
Right.
in your house in Hyde Park, knowing your city was destructive that way.
But
And
what?
crime didn't deplete.
But so, what was that? What was that thing that you thought he should have done to make Chicago better? What was it that you were expecting for him to do?
So my thing is we could have created like, there's enough money
Mm-hmm.
and enough power to remove like gangs and drugs from Chicago. You know what I mean?
But I mean, this country needs gangs so they can keep paying the police to keep him. I mean, if you get rid of all the crimes, then what's the point? I mean,
But that's my thing though. So but,
you
but
know,
like,
it's- you have to have crime.
we don't have to have crime.
You have to.
We don't have
you
to
have
have
to
crime.
justify. You have
we
to
don't.
justify the police.
have to have
You have to
crime.
justify all this equipment and
They don't need rocket launchers. They don't need grenade launchers.
all these things
They
that
don't
the
need-
police
they don't
has.
need-
You
they
need
don't
to justify.
bulletproof SWAT vans that collect dust in the goddamn. No,
You
here's
need
my
to
thing.
justify it. The only way you can justify is the
Scrap
crime
it.
is high.
I ain't trying to hear that, man. Let's scrap it. How about that? When we decide we don't need it no more, scrap them. Scrap them. Don't reallocate all of those resources to our military then. Don't they love spending money on that?
Right.
Reallocate those resources there. I just feel like it's not impossible to police a city. It's not impossible. It's not. and we have the manpower. Like, I don't care what no one says. In between the National Guard, the Army, the Marine Corps, the Navy, and the Air Force, we have the manpower
Right.
to control this country on a civil level,
Right.
and we choose not to.
Right. Because
You know what I
we need crime. That crime is the only listen. Crime is the only thing that is going to justify a huge spending on police, on anything that has to do with that. Because again, what is the police for?
Yo,
Crime. So if crime goes away, let's say you reduce the crime down to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Down to nothing. Then one cop can patrol the whole city. That's not good.
What did you mean?
You
it's not
need
good?
crime.
We can reallocate those resources into other jobs. You know what I mean? Because like, we're not talking about a couple hundred or a couple thousand. We're talking about
hundreds of millions.
hundreds of millions of dollars that can get reallocated. You know what I mean? Like I for one don't understand it personally. I think that we've become too comfortable in a way that worked because essentially it's a hustle. Can't get mad at another hustler for hustling because prisons are private owned. Like
exactly,
the government doesn't own.
You see what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
You about to
Our
walk.
country doesn't own it.
You're about to walk into what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
because
get what
you
you're
gotta
saying,
you gotta
but, like-
understand one thing, and not just this country. Every country, it moves on fear. So the more afraid that your citizens are, the more armed they have to be, the more money you spend on that. You got to remember when the economies of the country does better, when we're in a war, because there's a lot of stuff that we have to build, a lot of weapons that we have to build to go fight some guy, some people in another country. So again, and it sounds terrible.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Sounds
Like,
stupid,
you think
but
that's
it
not-
is
It
the
is
truth.
what it is. It's, you know what I mean? But
They on fear, everything moves faster and better when you scare the shit out of the people.
that was one of the most insensitive thoughts I think I've ever had. Like purely insensitive. Like I slapped my own self for even thinking it. But like the benefit
Yep.
of COVID, if it would have actually been a deadly virus.
You don't think it was?
I don't think. I mean, based number wise, it wasn't
You
considered.
get vaccinated?
Yeah, I didn't get vaccinated.
You didn't get vaccinated at all?
Nah, I know better.
Why not?
Because I mean, I've been. Well, I was in the military. I was in the Marine Corps, by the way. Everybody knows. So I'm tired of getting stabbed. Like I'm outside.
Exactly.
Like I'm at the point where, like, if it's gonna kill me, thank God I have life insurance. Goodbye. Like, you know what I mean? Like I tell people all the time, they're like, "Man, I'm gonna kill you." I'm like, "Make it look like an accident, so I get an extra $300K."
There you
like,
go.
you
There
know
you
what I mean?
go.
Like, make it look like an accident. My son will appreciate you. But like,
This shit's getting recorded, you know. The insurance company gonna be like, okay, Mr. Terry, I see you got a plan.
Actually, no, but like I thought about that how many people would die versus the population as it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And then like you can't help but think like if enough people were like especially in like at one point, like I'm sorry if you have anybody that's incarcerated right now, like I don't mean to target anybody specifically, but like I thought COVID was gonna hit the prison system so hard that we weren't gonna
wipe
have
it out.
criminals no more.
Yeah.
And like in my head, I was like, well, did the government do that to wipe out crime? Like I was
Yeah.
like, did they do that to wipe out the prison systems? Like,
Yeah.
'cause I
Well,
was
they
thinking
said
that,
it was for old people. They said they wanna get rid of old
I used to
people
call it-
because they're not putting anything towards the system. They're actually taking from the system, and supposedly that's one of the theories out there that this
that's
virus was invented to get rid of old
But that's
people.
where our stimulus checks came from. All the extra Social Security that was, wasn't getting collected anymore.
Is that what it was?
Well, yeah, you think about it. Like, so think about how many old people died that were supposed to collect Social Security.
Mm-hmm.
Where does that money go? The money doesn't automatically revert into a life insurance plan. That money just sits there now. The government owns that money now. So then now you got all these stimulus checks that went out. Nobody asked, well, where did this money come from?
Right.
That's it. They took it from
I
all
didn't
of
give
dead
a
people's
shit.
Social Security. Right?
I got my check. I didn't give a fuck where it came from.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Of course. And
Fuck out of here. You know how much money I pay in taxes?
and that's a group
I
of
see the
people who
check,
sat
it's
down
like,
and
yeah,
knew
that's
that.
my
It was like once
motherfucking
we
money.
start handing them money, they're gonna stop giving a fuck. And sure
Yeah.
enough, after stimulus round 2, people didn't even give a fuck about COVID no more. They were just like, I
No.
don't fuck with this. Unemployment checks, yo, I've seen cities still struggling to hire because of unemployment right now.
Yeah, New Hampshire is one of them.
Like it's a now hiring sign everywhere.
Yeah,
You know what I
everywhere you go here in New Hampshire, you can see there's that we're hiring and there's nobody wants to work. One interesting thing that I found really kind of funny in a way. As much as I don't want to blame the Democrats for this, I have to.
You have to.
I have to.
You have to. They will.
I'm a guy who is a little by little becoming more Republican than Democrat, and it's their own fault of what they're doing. I mean, you can't help to see what, for example, the same people, they are pushing you harder than anybody to get vaccinated, so you can save your life, so you can save your family and get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. There's another shot. There's 4 shots. There's 5 shots. Get them, get them, get them, get them. Those are the same people that are okay with abortion. So, what is your plan? Is your plan to save the old and kill the young? I mean, I don't understand. And the more things I keep listening, I keep watching about how the Democrats are doing what they're doing, the less I want to associate myself with them. And I've been a Democrat for a long time, but lately, I mean, I would never vote for Trump. Hell no. But my heart is going towards Republican Party.
Here's my thing. Knowing what you know right now.
Yeah.
If you can go back right now, you still vote Biden?
I'd still vote Biden.
You still vote Biden?
Fuck yeah. Yeah, with a heartbeat.
It's one of those like
I would have still voted for the old man because I want to get that guy out of there.
I don't know.
That's me personally.
I think the country, the state of the country would have reverted to this no matter what. I think Donald Trump would have did a better job at bullshitting us on why it worked, so we weren't just sitting here wondering what the. Because honestly, let's be honest. One thing I liked about Donald Trump as the president is we always knew what was going on. Because he couldn't shut up.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did. He talked about everything. He did not shut up. He was always on the news. He was always talking. He was always keeping the world up to date.
Where is the medical plan that was going to replace Obamacare? Where is it?
He got put in office.
For how many years he was promising it's going to be next week. It's going to be in 2 weeks. It's going to be next month. It's going to be so it's not like that we knew what was coming.
But at least
it's that he was just keep feeding us bullshit, giving us dates.
But it was something.
Really? You got to listen to that?
Something. But that's my thing. It was something. When was the last time we watched TV and Biden gave us an update on anything?
The dude is 120 years old.
That's my point. That's my point. Like
that's why he got younger people. He got younger people to go on TV and lie to us. No, he doesn't have the energy. Listen.
He don't have it. He can't even walk up a flight of steps.
Listen. For a guy who gets lost on the podium, they get stuck in there, like doesn't know which way to go. I mean, the guy is way too old. You can't expect. I mean, I get it. He's the president. You're supposed to respect above and beyond. But also, you have to understand, we elected, because I voted for him, we elected an old man to get rid of the crazy. No. What do you mean? What do you mean a race? What are you talking about?
So you didn't do your history on Joe Biden. That's what it sounds like. So let me tell you something.
Teach me.
There's a difference between racist and insensitive.
Okay.
All right. So I put Donald Trump as insensitive.
Right.
Like, he's not saying it because he wants to directly impact one group of people.
Are you sure?
He's just an asshole. Like, he's just like, I don't.
And because he's an asshole, you okay with?
No. But let me clarify the difference between
all the Mexican people. All the Mexican people to go see this guy tell jokes. It wasn't just the Mexicans. Remember what he was saying right now.
It wasn't just the Mexicans though. But it was the Mexicans. It was the disabled. It was women. It was, you know what I mean? Like,
but that's how he started off.
Everybody got a turn. So he wasn't racist. He was an asshole. He was insensitive. He was vocally insensitive. Now you got Joe Biden, who is directly racist. Like when he says, like, you got a guy that says, if you don't vote for me, you're not black no more. That's racist. That's attacking. When he goes, I don't want my kids to go to school with black kids because I don't want my kids to go to a racial jungle. That's racist.
He says that?
Yes, that's Joe Biden.
You got that on video and recording?
Yeah, of course. Articles all the way. It's not Joe Biden's first time running for president. This is his third time running for president.
It's not what they write on paper. They can write anything on paper. They can put anything on paper.
Oh,
I mean, have you heard the conversation? Have you heard the tapes, videos? He's saying that?
That's exactly our point. Look how old the man is. There wasn't no tapes.
Exactly. So listen. This is a quote that I got from one of my favorite movies that is called Training Day with Denzel Washington. And he says on that movie, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. So you can say there's an article saying that he was racist and he said this and that. Can you prove it?
I bet R. Kelly's favorite movie was Training Day too because of that.
Well, I mean, his shit was
I bet R. Kelly's favorite movie was Training Day too.
his shit was proven
No,
that he did what he did.
That's
But I
what
mean, in this situation, you can say he say this, he say that, but can you prove it?
Can I prove it? You know what? It's the simple fact that
Now, Donald Trump was wide open saying they're rapists, they bring drugs, they do this, they do that. It's like, dude,
the problem
the
with that,
economy of this country,
Here's the problem with that,
economy of
though.
this country, especially anything that has to do with the supermarkets, is being moved by illegal hand, even construction.
But here's the problem with that, though. The problem with that is it's the same concept of stereotypes that match black people. It's not incorrect. It's not incorrect.
Incorrect on what
It's
sense?
like they are rapists. They are bringing crime over. They are smuggling drugs over. It's the same thing. Like I tell people all the time, when the stereotypes hit me,
But you can't
I
put
look at them and I
everybody.
go, you can't put
You
everybody.
can't
in
put
there.
everybody in one umbrella, though.
You can't put everybody under one umbrella, but I can understand why I'm getting pushed underneath it, though. Like I can't.
Why?
I have
Because
to
you
be
because of
acknowledged
your
that.
color of the
Like,
skin. So
like,
then
for
that's
example,
racist.
So like it's not racist. It's just the way of life. It's the way of life that's been presented to us. Is how America is operating. Like for example, as a kid,
Hold on. Let's get straight here. So, if a guy says Latinos are rapists and drug smugglers and drug dealers and all this stuff, and then other people will put me on their umbrella just because I'm Latino, then that is a racist statement.
it's not it's
Because
a
I'm being a guy like me who works like a mule,
Mhm.
pays taxes, never been incarcerated, never had any issues here in the 27 years that I've been in this country. I shouldn't belong under that umbrella.
You shouldn't belong.
But
under that
because of
umbrella.
his coming, then anybody see me on the street that agrees with him, they'll look at me and be like, oh, he must be one of those rapists and drug smuggler and that my president is talking about.
So let's be honest though. Let's be honest. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. We don't belong under the umbrella. Everybody shouldn't be put under that umbrella, but we all understand why that umbrella exists because there are people who do those things that come from that side of the country. Like that's why I relate to myself as being black. Like you know what I mean? If I'm 6'2", black, some guy gonna go walk to me and be like, "Yo, do you play basketball?" I'm not gonna be like offended by it. Because at my size and my ethnicity, me being able to play basketball,
but that is something
the same thing.
positive.
But here's the thing: I grew up in Chicago now. When
Right.
white people see me, you know what they see? A drug dealer, a murderer, a purse snatcher, and I can't now then look at that person and then be like, "Oh, what the hell's wrong with you?" Because guess what? I know a murderer, I know a drug dealer, I know a purse snatcher, and
Right.
guess what? The only different features we got is my nose may be a little bit more pudgier than his.
Right, but
You
again,
know what I mean? Like so, like. It's one of those things where it's like the stereotype exists and the stereotype is half wrong. You're absolutely right. It shouldn't apply to everybody. I shouldn't immediately put that tag on everybody, but there are people who exist right now that
Right.
make that tag accurate.
right.
So for me to be cautious about you, you know what I mean? Like for example, like if I seen you in Chicago, like if I looked and I seen you in Chicago and I knew a neighborhood I was in, yes, I would look at you a certain way. 100%. 100%. Period. 100%. I'm worried because guess what? I don't know you.
I
And
understand
I
that.
know the stereotype behind you, and I know the history behind you and this area and this neighborhood and what people do. Now think about the people who live on the border.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not the people who live in New England. Because we see a Mexican or a Hispanic person in New England, it's different than if I see a Hispanic person or a New England person if I live near the border. What if I live right there?
Now, hold on a second. Now, the difference is this. It was as simple as using the word, there's some of them. Some. If he would have put that in there, then his own followers would have been like, okay. So technically, yes, there's some Latinos, there's some Mexicans, they do this, they do that, but let's face it. The agriculture of this country, it moves with Mexicans.
Agreed.
That is, if it wasn't for them,
I wouldn't have a pair of Jordans on right now.
have you
without-
seen that
without-
movie? Have you seen that movie One Day Without a Mexican and One Day Without?
Mhm.
And that, as much as that will never happen, it will never happen. But if you picture that for real, like if you imagine something like that happen, the economy of this country will go down so far down in the shitter that it's going to be crazy.
My stomach like twirled just thinking about no Mexicans exist.
You imagine?
No elotes?
You know?
Wait, whoa, wait a minute. I'm not
You
going
imagine?
that I love them. Don't get me wrong. You know
You
what I mean?
imagine construction? I mean, this is a conversation that I have with some guys I work in the past. It's like it's easy to go and chase down the little guy. Everything get blamed on the little guy, on the Mexican that cross the border, on the Latino that cross the border. But what about these companies that hire these people, give them jobs? Most of the times they don't pay them.
No.
Not only they paying like less than $10 an hour and make them work like animals. On top of that, a lot of them don't pay them, and they call immigration service to take them away. So how come it's easy to blame the little guy that has to cross like 20 different borders to come here to do the job that nobody wants to do? But yeah, the company, the sheetracking company, the framing company, the roofing company that hires these guys,
Took advantage of
they're
the work.
okay.
Mhm.
They're okay, but not the little guy who's come here to get the job. It's like, I don't understand.
So that goes back to what we were talking about with Obama living in Hyde Park, which is, you know what I mean, in Chicago, and not addressing those. So that same anger that I have towards like Obama for living there is that same concept right there, where it's just like, yo, like why do we have politicians that like match our ethnicity, match our like a struggle,
Right.
match our hardships, and then still live and watch the same things happen? You know, that's. I think the world is screwed. I don't think
They
America
have
is
an
the greatest
agenda.
country anymore.
They-
You know what I
they-
mean? I think it's one big business. It's a big corporation at this point.
Since the 70s, everybody who wants to get power, they obviously have to go with the flow. And that's what it is. As much as, I mean, we can have, it could be a Latino guy running for president, a Latino candidate running for president. And us as Latino, we're going to look at him like, yeah, we got a man in there. He's going to fix all our problems.
Yep.
And then he gets in there and he's too involved. He can't do what he wants to do because it's a lot of people that he has to please first.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to.
And
So
between
as much
the
as
Senate-
Obama wants to do for Chicago, he has to obviously comply with his buddies, his friends, and then he will think about Chicago and everybody else. They all do
Well,
the same thing.
I guess he ran out of time. My bad.
Yeah.
Guess
He
8
exactly.
years wasn't
He-
enough.
Exactly.
8 years wasn't enough.
You give him another 8.
Also, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. We were in the middle of a war.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give him benefit of the doubt.
Exactly. That freaking long ass
I'm
war.
just saying, one of those bombs you dropped on Syria, just one of those could have been enough money to change at least fix the neighborhood you live in, motherfucker.
But
Like not even the whole city of Chicago,
Right,
just
right.
Hyde Park. Like, could you have at least fixed Hyde Park? Like,
but what kind of changes you
like,
want?
didn't
What
even
kind of
address it. Like
okay.
that's another thing.
Let's
Didn't
say-
even address
But
crime in Chicago to a multitude to where it was just like,
what do you think it should have been done? Let's say you say we can get all the gangs and get all these people. So
first we need to
do
let out
do
here.
what with them?
First, all we had to do is release Larry Hoover. First of all, like that was one right there. We released Larry Hoover, and then that's a wrap. Because then now all of these many what the fuckery gangs that have been created would cease to exist right off the rip. Because then now it'll go back to, you know what I mean. You know, I feel like Larry Hoover would have united enough people in gang culture actually to where like a lot of these mini gangs would have been gone.
You think so?
I mean, 100%. Like,
You gotta understand the new recruits don't give a shit about
new
who is who.
yeah, that's the thing.
You know what I'm saying? They have to prove themselves and being peacemakers, it ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah.
So that guy, I mean, he could have tried to unite everybody, but you got a new freaking hardhead.
That's my
They're
thing,
not
though.
gonna go along with it though.
I would have respected him for trying. That's all I'm saying. I would have respected him for trying. Even if he did something and it didn't work,
Right.
I would have respected him more for trying. And that was it. Honestly, that's what it came down to. Like I said, had he lived in the White House and then bought a house in California and chilled in California, I wouldn't even be bringing this up right now. It was just the simple fact that you had the audacity to come back and live in the city, knowing the condition the city's in, and you're the president of the United States of America.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a magic wand that he can just wave it.
Donald
And
Trump
make
was
it
waving
happen.
the fuck out of that magic
Oh, he
wand when he had it.
wasn't.
He
Stop
was waving that
it.
shit. You know how many times I heard Donald Trump
Stop
executive order, executive order, executive. You know how many times I've seen people
And you know
complaining
how many
about Trump executive order.
But you know-
we're gonna have to impeach him because he's doing whatever he
But
wants.
you know how many times Obama was criticized for all the executive order that he was doing.
That's okay, but if that's
But
my
that's the
thing.
thing,
Like,
though.
yo, why not? I don't care if you criticize me as the president. Impeach me then. But guess what? I'm the president. I'm the captain now, and this is how we gonna
That's
run
not
this
how
ship.
it works.
And that's how it worked for 4 years because he
no,
didn't get
no,
impeached.
no.
He didn't get impeached, and he won the election. I'm one of those people that tell y'all straight up.
He
I
got
don't
it-
give a fuck what y'all say.
He
Joe
got-
Biden didn't
he
win
got-
this election.
He got impeached. He got impeached twice, but he was not removed. So it was just like Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton got impeached.
He got impeached, yo.
He got
Dude,
impeached,
a
but he was
trash
not
president.
removed.
We want to talk about garbage presidents. Oh my God, Bill Clinton, number one. Bill
listen,
Clinton was
listen.
a shitty president.
Listen. I came to this country back in '96. He was the president then.
Oh my
And
God.
the little bit that I knew, because I didn't even speak English at the time. Well, I still struggle with my English, but the little bit of English that I knew back then, I kind of liked the guy, right? Check this out.
That's how
Before
you
you
knew
said
something was
anything.
wrong.
Before you said anything.
That's how you know something wrong when you like the president.
Before you said anything. I kind of like the guy for the longest time because it's all depends where do you get your information from.
Right.
And then recently, well, not recently, like 5 years ago, is when I find out he was the guy with the 3-strike law.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. And when I
I
heard
was
that,
just going to tell you, like,
when
bro,
I heard
you know
that
who
shit,
came up with the
I
3
didn't
strikes rule?
I didn't even know about it. I mean, I knew the law exists. I just didn't know who put that
Here's
in
my
there.
thing.
And then when I found out, like 4 or 5 years ago, I was like, "What the fuck was he thinking?
What was he thinking? Here's my thing.
What the
And
hell?
You didn't get a new 3 strikes. It wasn't 3 strikes starting now. It was 3 strikes concurrent to whatever you got right now. It was people that were like on trial and then were like, "Oh, I guess this is my 3rd strike. Guess I gotta eat the L right now."
Yeah.
No, that and like the terrorist threats
Yep.
were during Bill Clinton presidencies.
Oh yeah, they yeah.
So the threats, so Bill Clinton knew about the threats. They impeached him, and then he was just like, "Oh well, whatever,
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
whatever." You know what Bill Clinton reminds you of? You know that tough ass guy that get all in your face. You ain't gonna do shit.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't.
But I don't know. For the longest time, I was so related with the Democrats.
Him and his
And
wife.
I just keep like, you know, I was always defending the Democrats and everything they was doing. But like I said, the last few years, I'm confused. I'm not fucking confused. I know what's going on. I mean, these people with this whole transgender thing, and
Oh my God.
that's my biggest thing.
That is, you know,
That
New
is
Hampshire
that's the reason why. That's one of the big reasons why I'm walking away from these people.
So
This is not right.
as far as the transgender politicians.
And let me clarify something. Again, I didn't even have to say this, but I'm going to say it anyways.
Yeah, you gotta do
It's
it.
not that I have something against the transgender community or the gay community. This is not the case. My issue is with the whole pushing into the schools, this whole agenda. It's like, you see what I'm saying? This is my biggest thing. It's like you don't care about something until it comes to your door.
Correct.
And that's what's happening to me. That is the kind of stuff that my kids is getting teach at school already in Hillside. They have a program in Hillside. Yes.
Yeah, no.
They have a program in Hillside that is called iReady. And then and the thing about it is that program covers all the activities, right? But they putting that one in there too.
Yeah,
They are putting some of that stuff inside of that program. But when you go and ask the question, oh no, the iReady is to kind of help kids to figure out what they want to do when they go to college and this and that. So they feed you a bunch of bullshit, but at the end of the day, it has a lot of that stuff inside. If you agree with it, they're gonna fucking teach your kids this whole transgender thing when they're in like middle school. before middle school and elementary school. They're doing this.
All right.
So that's my big issue with that.
Here's why I draw the line.
That's why you guys lost me.
Here's why I draw the line with the transgender community. And I will always draw this line with the transgender community. I don't care what the scenario is. I don't care how insensitive I sound either. I'm going to apologize in the beginning before I had a conversation. Like, what I might say might sound insensitive, but guess what? I don't care. We're
You
talking
don't give a
about
razz ass.
We're talking about children here.
Yeah.
I don't think children should be subjected to any type of sexuality change or gender change or gender assignment change, because guess what? We're here to teach children. We're not here to mold children.
Yep.
And I think that's where we found, like, I think that's where we're fucking up, honestly. I'm going to say it because I don't know how to say it without cursing now. I think that's where we fucking up.
Yep.
We send our children to school to learn, to gain knowledge and develop themselves.
That's
We're
right.
not sending our kids to school to determine whether they decide they want to be a boy or a fucking girl. No. God damn it, teach my son that he was born a male. That's it. Not that he was born a male by accident.
Not even.
No.
Listen,
teach my son.
Not even.
You know what I mean?
Not even. They're not even supposed to get involved with that.
It's not.
You treat my son as he reflects himself. He is. He's a boy. You treat him as such. You don't have to teach him anything.
You don't have to teach him
let
nothing.
me handle that.
Yeah,
shit.
like, teach
Your
him-
job
teach
is
him
English,
biology,
Spanish,
teach him
biology.
anatomy.
Exactly.
Like, I'm okay with that. Like, all day long. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Hell, sex education shouldn't even happen. My thing is, sex ed shouldn't even happen until like your senior year anyway. Sophomore year now, I guess maybe with some of these little fast tails.
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah.
Like, no,
Oh,
sophomore,
yeah.
junior year. And then, like, if this was happening in high schools and stuff like that, then I'd look at you and be like, maybe we should
Exactly.
start, but like children,
Yeah.
children should not be subjected to
Third grade.
third grade. No child.
They have books out there. They have books out there that is called I Know My Body or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about teaching kids all the body parts since third grade.
Yeah, no.
It's like it's the point.
No child should be subjected.
I don't understand what is the push. What the fuck do they want?
Well, no, I just do not think that children should be subjected to transgender or sexual activity or talk whatsoever. I think that they should be educated on what and who they are. That's it. I don't give a damn. If my son comes to me right now and goes like, "Dad, I feel like a girl," and I'm like, "That's nice. Like, well, let your brain develop, and when you finish, then you can make that decision."
Right.
As an adult. Like, I don't think a child that's not old enough to fucking vote should be old enough to make a decision on to change their gender, goddammit. You can't even buy me a fucking pack of cigarettes.
Not only that, there's a lot.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
There's a lot of those kids that they don't even know how to wipe their own ass, and
That's it.
they come up with, "Oh, I'm a girl." And then the way I look at it is this: Matt Walsh is, fucking love that guy. Everything he puts out there, I consume. Well, not everything. There's certain stuff that he goes like kind of a little bit above and beyond, and he goes a little cuckoo, and I'm like, nah, I don't need this. But most of his material, I watch it all. I consume it, and I learn a lot because you got to watch this guy so you can have at least a decent point of view. He has the documentary, What Is a Woman? I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to pay for it. I'm definitely going to watch it. But again, he goes around, and what he said is this. If your son tells you, "Oh, Dad, I'm a girl," it's not necessarily that he wants to be a girl. Maybe what he wants to do is play with a doll. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that it shouldn't be a big deal. But you as a parent, I believe what you should do, because that's what I would do with like one of my boys if come up with that bullshit. I'd be like, "No, you're not." And I explain to you why. And then you explain to the kid. But just because the kid come up with that thought of saying, "Oh, I'm a girl," you're just gonna roll with it. It's your job as a parent to explain to your kid why he is not what he think he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It comes to the same conversation about somebody that's bulimic.
Yeah.
So you somebody that sees himself in the mirror, they're fat, you're gonna agree with them because you think it's okay. So you can.
Yeah, I'm like.
It doesn't make any fucking
Yeah,
sense at
borrow
all.
my finger. Like, you know what I mean? Like, here's my thing. Here's why I think it's out of control with the transgender community right now. There are children who are changing their genders. Like, there are children who they're out convincing parents that it's okay for their child to change their gender.
Yeah.
Do you know how mortifying it is as a parent to then now go and say, "Hey, you know what? You feel like a girl? My son decides he wants to be a girl, and then I go and I pay for that procedure for my son to be a girl." How mortifying is it as a parent for then my son to come back to me and be like, "Dad, why did you let me do that?
Exactly.
Now what?" Now what, America? I
Yeah.
literally just destroyed my son
Yeah.
because the world told me that I should listen to him,
Right.
who can't even buy cigarettes, who can't go to the liquor store right now and bring
Right.
me a fifth. But I should listen to him.
Right.
And now what? Now what do I do as a parent?
There's nothing you can do.
What do I exactly?
There's
what do I
nothing
do
you
as a
can do.
parent? I failed my child now because I listened to my child
That's right.
because the transgender community told me to.
Right, but if you
outta here.
if you as a parent are stupid enough to listen to these fucking people,
Well, that's the thing. It's
Then-
happening.
then
though.
at the-
It's happening,
yeah,
and that's
but
the part that
that's
bothers
like closed-minded
me.
idiots.
It's happening. Here's the thing. I don't have a problem with men deciding they want to be women or women deciding they want to be men. But did you see the verbiage that I use? Women, men, not child, decide they want to be a different side of child. That's
Exactly.
it. And that's why I draw the line. Even like right now, like with the whole we were just talking about politics and stuff too, like with the whole voting thing. Here's my problem with the transgender community voting. What if I
You have
identify
an
as-
issue. You have an issue
I have
with
an
it.
issue.
Hold
I
on,
have an
hold on, hold on. Let me. You have an issue with a transgender
I have an issue.
people to go vote.
I have an issue. You want to know I have an issue? Because of the issue we have right now.
Explain that to me, because that makes no sense.
It does. It makes a lot of sense. Now think about it right now.
Please
right?
go ahead.
We're talking about voter fraud. We're talking
Oh,
about voter
I
fraud.
see where you're coming.
Yeah, we're talking about
Stop
voter
it.
fraud. I
Stop
can vote twice.
it.
No, here's my thing. I'm
Oh.
gonna vote as Randy, and then I'm gonna vote as Racine the next time. You know what I mean?
Oh, stop
No, here's my
it.
thing. But that's the thing, though. But that's how petty this country is, and that's how petty this country is chosen to be, and that's where we at right now. And so, here's my thing with that, and it's like, you should not be allowed to vote if you do not have the proper identification to match the gender that you pick it. You know what I mean?
I understand that, but there are steps that there obviously if
Fuck
you
that. If
you change your gender, you tomorrow you are Tokisha, whatever your name want to pick, then yes, you legally have to change your name, and there's a process that you have to do that. It's
Correct.
just like anything else. So,
Correct.
On that matter, I mean,
What's happening though is now, but here's what's happening though. What's happening though is now I'm going and saying, "Hey, I'm Randy," but then I'm going now again and going, "No, Randy voted."
right. And if you get caught, you
Now
go to jail.
Samantha's voting. You know what I mean? And you're right. You get caught, you go to jail. but
exactly.
Here's my thing. It's like it's voter fraud. That's what it comes down to. It's voter fraud. Like it's one of those things where it's just like, hey, so listen, the solution is, if you're going to be part of the transgender community, dive full in 100%. And if you're not going to dive in full on 100%, then what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? What are you doing? If you want to be a woman, be a woman. Cut your dick off.
No.
See, cut your dick off. How about
No,
that? You want to identify as a woman? You want to be a woman? Cut your dick off.
But
No,
that's too
no.
extreme.
Ruby Rose, Ruby Rose walks around with her little fake penis in her pants.
that's too extreme.
That's
bro.
not extreme. That's my
too-
thing. If you want to go that far to change your
But
goddamn
not-
gender, go ahead.
But not all of them. They just want to feel like a woman, but they not all of them want to cut their freaking
So
dick
then go
off.
to- that's
It's
my
not.
thing.
It's
So-
not like that.
It's not like right.
It's not like I mean,
that,
especially with all these genders, because they said there's like hundreds and hundreds of them.
I can identify
So
as they. Do
technically-
I get
so-
to vote twice?
No,
I'm
because
them. I'm multiple.
no. Because you legally,
what I mean?
I see what you're saying, but you legally are one person, regardless whether you want to be a woman or a man. You still only one person
But
want
I
to
feel
vote.
like you should be fully identifiable as one person. Fully identifiable as one person.
Right. But that's okay. Why?
You have a lot of people in the transgender
let me
community
get
that
this
hasn't
straight. So
accepted
let me
that.
get this straight. So when you say has to be fully identifiable as that person, so technically, if a transgender man did not consider themselves a woman, for you to be satisfied with what they are, they have to show you they cut the dick off. Is that what?
they
Is that
should
what
put-
you're saying?
Yo,
It'll
no,
be
here's
like,
my
hey,
thing.
listen, look it.
You know how?
I don't
no,
have
no,
it,
no,
so I'm a
no,
woman now.
No, come on. Let's let's be real here. Let's be real here. On my ID,
We're being
No,
real.
let's be real. On my ID, right?
On the back of the ID,
On
you
my
want a
back
picture
ID.
of the dick off? What the fuck?
Yo, it should be a stamp on the back of that bad boy going like boop boop trans. Yeah, they should get a trans. Like we got it. We it's a
Nah,
spot on there
because-
for organ donors, right? If I want to be an organ donor, it's a spot on there that identifies that I'm
Right,
an organ
right.
donor. It's a little small corner. Why
Right.
can't the next small corner be let me know that, hey, listen,
Because you know the next thing would be like, oh, they are doing this like they were doing it to the Jewish people.
What
They're
do you
marking us
mean?
because that's what it is.
they're
Listen,
not market.
Listen.
The Jews are different.
if
We
you
were identifying a religion
listen,
or race of
hey,
people.
hey, it's now me who's saying that.
Oh,
It's them who's gonna come up with the fact that with that situation, they're gonna be like, oh, so now we are different. So now we have
Yes.
to carry a mark again, but they're not gonna allow that.
Yes, you
They're
are
not-
different.
they-
You are different. Yes, you are completely different.
Their whole fight.
You were born this, and
Well,
then you
listen.
changed to this.
Listen,
It's
listen.
different.
Turn it down. Hold on. The whole reason why they are fighting, the way they're fighting, is because they want to be seen like anybody else. They don't want to be seen like a weird thing that just doesn't know what it is. If you tomorrow want to be a woman, the whole fight is I want you to accept me as a woman, even though I look like a dude with a beard. That's the thing, though.
Yo, listen, like, let's be real. Let's be realistic. Like, seriously, let's just be realistic here, right? If you want to be a woman, but you want to look like a dude, then, like, that's one of those things where, like, you keep it to yourself. Like, honestly, I don't understand why people being able to identify me as a man or a woman matters. And you want to know why I think this? I think about this right now, like, because my name is Tori.
Okay.
And, like, if I write my name Tori down on a sheet of paper on a job application, if they don't check the box, if I check male or female, guess what? They're going to automatically assume I'm a female. If I send 100%.
Oh, because of the name?
Because of the name. They're going to assume I'm a female. You know what I
Really?
mean? And then they're going to see me and see that I'm a male now.
Has that happened to you
It's
before?
happened to me a lot. I've sent emails out to people and people were assuming that they were going to meet a woman. I'm like, no, how you doing? My name is Tori. And they're like, oh, you're Tori. Like,
Oh.
And you can see it, like because in the email, you know what I mean? Unless I feel like a job application, I actually check the box male, but there's some scenarios where I send my name out and they see Tori and they automatically assume, oh, that's a girl.
Right.
You know, here's the thing, and here's where this is where I draw the line with it. If you want to identify as a woman, why the hell is that my business? Why do you want me to care that you identify as a woman so bad? Why does it matter to you that I identify you as a woman?
Because
Why can't I
you want me to
just
explain
identify
to you
you
why?
as a person? That's good
Because
enough for me.
because
Why
you
do I have to know what you into?
because you are the outsider. You're the person on the other side until and this is gonna sound fucked up, but until you don't agree with what they believe they are not gonna be what they want to be. So in between, in group of all of them, they can agree with each other that you're a woman, but until an outsider, somebody that is not on their shoes, see them as a woman, they're not going to be happy. So you have to participate on this craziness that they're a woman, even though they're a man, and you have to participate on that. Because if you don't, then their whole thing is not going to be done. They need your cooperation and your involvement so they can feel as they want to feel.
I'm
as a
slapping the
woman.
transgender tag in the same column as I would put religion. If
There you go.
If you want to be Christian, go be Christian. I don't
Yeah.
care. That's your business. If you want to be Buddhist, go be Buddhist. That's cool. If you want to be a woman, go ahead. That's cool. None of those are my business, guys.
Right.
None of those are my business. Like, I didn't care about the transgender community until they started affecting children.
Yeah.
And then at that point, now I'm going like, yo, okay, so wait a minute. Like, hold on. Like, if that's a decision that you made as a person, that's a decision you made as a person.
That's
Don't
right.
go and make my children think that they can make that same decision. Because that'd be the equivalent to me being an Iron Man and going door to door, knocking and inviting you to Christ and
Yep.
teaching your kid about Christ and
Yep.
teaching your kid about Jesus. And you know what I mean? Like, that's how I look at the transgender community. Like, dude, you're not metamorphosing your identity biologically through thought.
Right.
So what it's essentially the same as a cult. It's the same as the KKK to me. It's the same as, like, if that's something that you want to do as an American, guess what? Go do it.
Right.
But, like, why do you want me to care so bad what you're doing? And that's the same thing with homophobia. Why do you want me to know so bad?
Whether they want to admit it or not, they need your approval.
For what?
So they can feel what they want to feel.
As a black man in America.
Listen, they need your approval as an outsider so they can actually believe themselves. Because until they don't see an outsider see them as a woman, they don't believe they're a woman. You got to listen to that. Listen to the crazy part of it. Until an outsider doesn't see them as a woman, then they won't feel as a woman. Man, now, when a stranger on the street see them and be like, "Hi, ma'am," and then they'll be like, "Oh my God, I am a woman." He doesn't know me, and he recognized me as a woman, and at that moment, they're gonna see themselves as a woman. That's how fucked up it is.
It is fucked up because in my head it's like, and if I get it wrong, then correct me politely. Like, why you gotta be an asshole? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why? Why do I need to know so bad?
You want me to tell you what happened to me?
I gotta hear this.
Okay. In the process of buying all this equipment and shit, because I started doing this studio with no knowledge at all of what the hell I was doing. Mm-hmm. Everything that I have done in the studio is being like Google and YouTube and all that. I went to a store, I'm not going to say the name of it, to buy some parts and pieces and whatever. And there was a person in there that you can, it's like, I was afraid of calling this person because I didn't know which way to go with. Because it was a guy.
It was Uncle Stephanie.
On my eyes, I can see him was a guy. But then you see the lipstick, you see the nail polish, and you see some of the makeup, but then you hear the voice and all that, and it's like you don't even know which way to go with this. And then the fucked up part was I was gonna return something, and then I was like, oh yeah, I bought this in the store, whatever. Who sell it to you?
Like Auntie George.
And I was like, and I was looking at the person, and I didn't know if I should say him or she. I didn't even know them. I didn't know what to say.
There.
And then
like,
they go.
You know what I mean? Like,
and the only thing I did was like pointing at him. And then he turned around and he looked at me and he goes like he couldn't understand the reason why I didn't went either way. And I just point at him and he goes like, it's like, I got you. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of
like fam over there.
No,
like,
no.
It was Cuzzo over there.
And the biggest thing is now they're getting violence. They get really. I mean, they are out there destroying anybody that doesn't agree. Like this video right now, we have like 3 videos on Savage Podcast. We haven't done this in over a year. And this is how we're gonna come back. Holy fucking shit!
Yeah.
This is the video that we're just gonna fucking put on tomorrow on the website on the YouTube. And this video might be a reason for anybody who's offended to try to fuck with this thing.
Yo, so my thing is
that's what they're gonna do.
Here's the thing, like I don't hate anyone in the transgender community because I don't care.
I have no hate for any of them.
You know what I mean? Like
I don't care.
Like it only bothers me when you involve children, and that's it. And then as long as the transgender community is only involving hey, their children, cool. You know what I mean? Like whatever. Like
right.
Bringing transgender education to schools with children, to me is the equivalent of bringing religion. And the last time I checked, we removed it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because there's too many of them.
There's too many of them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is like, hey, so listen. Let children develop fully, because we've already scientifically proven that the development of the brain is at a certain age for men, certain age for women.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let them make those decisions then. And if you can't buy cigarettes until you're 21 now, and alcohol until you're 21, you shouldn't be able to make those decisions and determinations physically. Now, get me wrong, hold on, before y'all kill me. Physically, until then, you know what I mean? And then mentally, like, why not? Why not just have it like, hey, so listen, this is a part of me that is sensitive to me.
Right.
Like, why do we have to then go out and broadcast and share with the world? You know what I mean? Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, if you go out as a guy and you dressed as a woman, and then I notice you a guy and you dressed as a woman, and then you now get ridiculed because you're a guy dressed as a woman, guess what? As a black man in America, guess what? Get over it. Get over it.
Yeah.
Cause we just talked about the same thing. Cause he's Latino, he gets stabbed in the same category as rapists and murderers and kidnappers.
That's correct.
I'm black. I purse snatchers, gang bangers, thugs. Guess what? Guess what we did our entire life? We got over it.
Yeah. It's nothing you
We
can do.
continue to be ourselves.
Yep.
At no point did it make it change who I am. So you in the transgender community, if that's a decision and a route you choose to go, there are negatives and positives to the decisions that you made. I was born this way. There's
Yeah.
nothing I could do about it.
No, it's nothing
And
you
the
can do about
transgender
it.
community may feel like, hey, listen, I was born this way. There's nothing I could do about it. But the ridicule that it comes with, like, God, get over it, bro.
Yeah.
Damn, get over it.
Yeah.
Both of y'all, get over it.
Have you heard of the Casey Miller?
Casey Miller.
It was Casey Miller was a girl. I did a show. Let's call it a show about her. That it was a young girl who was taking testosterone and testosterones. Damn, yeah, my English is fucked up. So at the age of 15, I think it was, and her transformation to be a guy is so dramatic. Let me show you a picture of it. I mean, she's all over the place because she got mad famous now because she's speaking against allowing your kids to be trans, because he agrees that, or she agrees that, it was a mistake to do that. Let me see. I think it's this one right here. Let me see if I can find the video. But anyway, so it was this girl who obviously regrets every bit of it, because now she's getting bold in her voice. You listen to it, it sounds like a guy. I don't have a picture of it, but I might put it up. I'm sure a lot of people out there knows who Casey Miller is. What I found a little bit fascinating is how the gender community is so against this girl or guy, whatever, to the point that she's getting like death threats and all that. Why? Because she's speaking out, telling people, don't let your 15-year-old kids get testosterone. Don't let your kids make this kind of decisions, because at some point they're going to regret it. She's 21. And right now, it's in the limbo, because it's a woman, but looks like a guy. But it's like in the middle of it. It doesn't have the guy's parts and still have the women's part, but and it's so messed up. And it's so many of transgender that kill themselves after the fact. Yeah. Not before the fact, because that's the lie that is being. Next week on Sunday, we're gonna bring another guy that knows a lot about these things. We're gonna be talking about this shit again. But I welcome you to come over here. We're gonna have a good time talking about all these things. But it's so many of them that they suicide after the fact, because they're not gonna be what they want to be. And what is being selling to the parents is like, oh, if you don't help your son or daughter to change, they're gonna kill themselves because they want to be something else. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of parents so weak-minded, they don't care about spending all kinds of money and putting the kids on risk to what? To agree with something that doesn't make any sense. You don't give them enough time for them to actually process the whole thing and kind of realize that maybe what they're thinking is not correct. I mean,
it's unreal, because like for example, like if my son's 12, and if my son came to me right now and goes, Dad, like, I want to be a girl, and as a parent, we're supposed to support our children, educate, teach our children.
Yeah. Now,
if that's the case, and my son tells me that, like, there are so many routes you can go before you disfigure your child. Like, that's what I'm thinking about. Like, your parents, you are participating in disfiguring your child.
Yeah, literally.
And there's so many ways we can go about this. Well, we don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe like that'd be an indicator for me right then and there. Like, okay, so maybe I need to spend more time with my child because I don't understand my child the way I thought I did.
Exactly.
So now I'm gonna need to spend more time with them, and that's where the economy comes in. It punches you in the throat because rent inflation is through the roof. Electric bills are going up.
Right.
Parents, two parent households are still working 2 jobs each. So
Yeah, and they
often are you at home?
Keep up.
They can't keep up. Maybe they got 3 kids, 2 kids. You know what I mean? Like, and that plays a lot into it. But at the same time, you got to ask yourself, like, yo, wait a minute, like, for you to go as a parent and just be like, yeah, okay, whatever. Let me pick up a 3rd shift. You know what I mean? As a server, so that you can become a girl now. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like this kid taking testosterone. Like, where were your parents?
Yeah.
Your parents allowed you to take
Of
testosterone?
course, I mean, they starting kids at age of 12.
Like, that's unreal.
That's what they're doing right now.
Unreal. Like, hey, so listen, son, listen. This is what I want you to do. Test it. Fuck it. Whatever. There you go. You know what I mean? We'll get you some extensions, nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Like,
I think if you go that far, you're actually encouraging the behavior. So technically, if they say, "Oh, I'm a girl," and then you put extensions or you put like a wig on them, then you're actually pushing for it. It's like it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's like you are actually feeding the behavior that it doesn't. You have to stop it instead of.
Here's my thing, because I don't think so. That's why I'm on the fence here, right? Like that's why one thing I am on the fence right now, because I do believe of a chemical imbalance, where some children who were probably 0.1% could have been a girl ended up balls dropping and becoming
right.
This is science, though. This isn't me just going like, I think. I'm talking science.
Right.
I'm thinking brain anatomy. I'm well aware that you can think things into existence. You know what I mean? You can trick your brain into altering your body.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, at that point, like, let me be conscious enough to know, but, like, I'm not going to go as far as testosterone and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Like, hell, like, kids play dress up all the goddamn time. Like, let me take that route first before I go and participate in disfiguring my child. You know what I mean? Like that. What I'm saying is, there's a medium between. You know what I mean? There has to be a line we draw.
Yeah.
Where we're like, hey, so listen, like you're still a child. You know, and like
you got a long way to go.
Yeah.
That's the same. That's you and I.
This conversation is crazy because like these are conversations we used to have when we used to be like, "What do you do if your child said he was gay?" You know what I mean? Yeah. Now we're talking about like, "What do you do if your child says he wants a vagina now?" Like, god damn, like Jesus.
We went way far away. So, Tony, I really appreciated you coming on today. I definitely I want you to keep coming in and keep talking about all these things. Like I said, we're gonna have a guy next Sunday. He's really good at this. He's been like reading about it. He's been studying all this, and it's gonna be a really fun interaction. Tell people about your podcast so that way everybody can tune in. Where you at? What's the name of it? And what you got going on, brother?
That's right. So every Wednesday, we're launching a podcast. No Chaser. Right now, we're just in the pilot area. Right now, episode 1 launching Wednesday. 6:30 p.m. on Facebook. So you can add me on Facebook, Torrey Slaughter. We're going to launch it there first before we do the YouTube. We're still in our development stages. That's Torrey, last name Slaughter, Slaughter. Feel free to send me a request. I'll add you on there to make sure you can tune into the vid. It's Wednesday at 6:30.
All right. That was good for the day. Thank you very much.